This is your mom's favorite show, Beer and Chill podcast. My name is Jan,
And I'm Craig.
and we would really appreciate if you would stop by and listen to our show. We are talking about interesting facts about your favorite movies, games, and TV shows.
For example, did you know that Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen had a real-life beef because Christopher Lee wanted to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings?
And many other great facts.
We hope you check us out and enjoy the rest of your show. Bye-bye.
What's your favorite scary movie?
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
They're here.
Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast. Kill the lights, lock the doors, get comfy, and prepare for the sexiest and scariest podcast around. I'm Nick, and with me is my co-host, Allie.
Woo!
Welcome.
Woo!
More scary, spooky movies.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
And we're in December,
Yes.
so we're in the spooky, scary, cold
Yes.
season.
Ugh. Yeah, it doesn't feel very spooky, scary here right now. It's kind of like, because I love Christmas as well, which is I know that's two extremes, but usually people like Halloween or Christmas, and I just love them both, honestly.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know, there's just something, and also the area we live in is so majestic with the big trees and the frost and the snow.
Yep.
And it's just beautiful. It's hard to think of the spooky scaries when you're out walking and it's just gorgeous outside.
And then I'm sure those who are hardcore St. Patrick's Day fans, and
Definitely, yeah.
there's the Thanksgiving folks who are it's all about Thanksgiving. I need that turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pumpkin pie, yeah.
yeah, and then they get the Valentine's Day fools.
And Easter.
Oh, and Easter, yes,
Yeah,
the chocolate
yeah.
whores.
Yeah. That's me. That's what I always think of Valentine's Day as, is National I get to go buy myself chocolate day.
Yep.
Oh, 'cause it's just so good. And they always put they're always in cute designs, and the day after Valentine's Day everything is 50% off.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
And then
It's all
a
pink's
week
my
later,
favorite color,
it's 85% off. And you're
yes.
ooh, yes, please.
Yes. Get all those. Yeah. I think Easter has some of the best candy though, like mini eggs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those Cadbury cream eggs
Love
that are
them. Pure
liquid
sugar.
snot inside, and I just love it so much. Oh,
It's just sugar.
Yes.
Sugar.
I can't wait. The Cadbury cream egg McFlurries are some of my favorite McFlurries ever.
Yep.
So good. And they mix in that yellow stuff and it makes it a sickly color, and I'm just get in my mouth faster.
You know, and I always saw in the pictures of the Cadbury cream eggs, the
Yeah.
yellow inside. I never saw yellow. There's
Really?
always white, always the white sugar.
Interesting. Yeah, there's always a little bit of yellow in it, but
It's usually down in 2 gulps. So
yeah, as you do.
yeah,
That's
well, this is the mini ones, and it's one after the other.
oh my god, mini eggs. What is it about them that's so freaking delicious?
I don't
Because there's
know.
also Smarties and M&Ms, but mini eggs just hit different,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I think it's the type of chocolate.
Yes. Well, and I also, obviously, back to Halloween, I love Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Because when you get the variety, I can have 5 chocolate bars without being overwhelmed. I'm still in a sugar coma, but at least I've had 5 different kinds of candy instead of one big one,
And it comes down to always, what's your favorite Halloween candy,
Yeah.
and why is it Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Seriously.
Yeah, you
that's-
got me there. I got nothing
Seriously,
for you.
that's the best. You got the Mars, you got the Mars, Snickers,
Yeah.
Twix,
Yeah.
all those crispy
All
crunch.
delicious.
But
But Reese's peanut butter cups hit different.
it's just the mixture, the flavor, the taste.
Yes.
I think it's because Mom used to make those peanut butter kind of squares.
Yes.
Same idea. I know, even better.
Mm-hmm.
But do I have the recipe? No. Do I want it? Yes. Would I make it at home? No.
No,
But
but
it'd be there, and I'm like, one day.
one day, and then never do it.
Yeah, it's just like too much power. I
Yes.
go crazy with power then.
Yes.
So it was like me and last year I made the
Oh my god, deviled
eggs.
eggs.
Yes.
Oh, I knew it even before you said it. I was like, say deviled eggs.
Because I thought I would try it once. I thought I tried out, and you tried my
Oh
test
my
batch,
god.
and they were good. I'm like, cool. And you're like, more. I demanded more for the Christmas.
I demand another. I love
You made a
Thor.
dozen.
Just break the plate.
Yeah, you're like, you made a dozen. Good for you. I need twice that much. Double it.
Oh, I love devil's eggs, and I didn't know that you were like a fucking savant. Like, why
Neither
didn't
did
you
I.
let
That
me
was
know?
my first time trying. That was my first time. I'm like, oh, I'll try it. I acquired a taste for them recently last year, and I'm like, they look easy to make. How do I make them? And Google, how do I make these? And then YouTube showed me a nice video of how to boil the eggs and put them right into cold water, so that's
Yum.
perfect. I'm like,
Yes.
ooh, that's packed.
Oh,
So
so good. So good. Yeah.
I got to make more this year.
Yes. Well, that's what I told Mom, that you were bringing them to Christmas Day, and she was so excited.
Well,
I was
good.
like, Christmas Eve he works till late, but Christmas Day, and she's like, yes.
You have to
So
make.
no
I'll have to make
pressure.
them. I'll have to make them Christmas Day morning.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just, pull your weight. It's fine. It's fine. I say selfishly because I freaking love them. Oh,
Oh, thanks.
jeez. Anyways, this week we watched Haunting in Connecticut.
We did.
The Haunting in Connecticut.
I guess there was a haunting, but it was like a TV special on Discovery or something.
Weird. Okay.
I've always known it as a haunting.
Sure.
I'm sure the case said a haunting. I could be wrong. Like Wikipedia calls it the haunting.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
I'm sure that, it's not a big deal.
No.
But yeah, it was good. I actually enjoyed this movie.
Good.
And I really, really like haunting and possession movies, which is why I love the series. Oh, geez, what is it? The Annabelle series,
Yeah.
and about Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yes,
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I do. But I was gonna say it earlier, but I forgot the name too. What
Yes.
it's called?
I've seen all of them, but I don't
Oh.
remember. Second one was the best.
Yeah,
But-
I like the first one.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah, the first one was good.
With the
I just
I think
loved
that
the
was
second
it.
one. The second one, I think, was the one with the girl, and they're in London or something, or Ireland.
Yes.
That's the one that I loved.
I like the first one because of the clapping game.
Yes.
Which in the trailer
yes,
got
we talked
me.
about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. We should add those to our list sometime.
We will.
Yeah,
We'll
eventually.
just,
We're already into 2022.
we are. It's bad.
I just get really excited, and I watch really good ones, and I'm like, we have to watch this.
Also, was it yesterday or the day before? I was out doing my finish up Christmas shopping,
Yes.
and I came across a Trivial Pursuit 100 Years of Horror.
Yes.
And it's every movie, book, anything horror.
Yes.
And there's 1,800 questions. I'm like, ooh, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I think in the next year we'll be trying to play it on our Twitch account. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll have some videos of us playing it
Yeah.
and seeing our horror knowledge, which I'm gonna fail.
Yeah, same. I feel like I watch a lot of movies, but I don't retain stuff as much, which is why I usually read the trivia and watch movies about it afterwards. Like when I watch Camp Crystal Lake and what's the other one? The Nightmare on Elm Street one and the 80s horrors, because that's where I retain more of the information
Oh yeah.
than actually when I watch the movie.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm really excited to do that one, but I don't know the older movies as much. I don't watch the old ones, the 40s ones. I like 70s.
Yeah.
I've watched a few of the 60s on Shudder, but 80s are where my heart lives. So I know those pretty
Oh
well.
yes. Oh yes.
But
And I have a bunch of the old 40s. I have that big collection.
yes.
So you can go through them eventually. There's
Yeah.
a bunch to go through.
I have Creature of the Black Lagoon up here, and I have to watch that. Toot sweet.
Yes.
But
Before the movies all go bye-bye.
yay! Bye bye movies. Yeah.
Well, just going by. They're just being moved
Yes.
to a
Moved.
different location.
Yeah. Put in storage for a little bit until shelves are acquired and set up. And
Yeah, I guess. I'll probably
Yeah.
put them out.
I hope your new house is haunted too. Not haunted, but like has ghostly friendlies.
I'd be okay with some. Yeah. By the way, victims, I have bought a house.
Yay! So kind of yay that, adulting is fun and good and stuff, but boo that you're not going to be like 6 feet away from me at all times.
True. I'm just
So
instead of 60, we're like 20 minutes now away.
yeah,
but
yeah.
Whatever.
That's how we've been rocking this pandemic. Why we've been able to stay consistent with our uploading schedules because
Yes.
we live together. So
It helps.
it's pretty easy while I'm vibing on the couch and you're like, podcast. And I'm like, yeah. And we're like, woo. And then we put our rings together and turn into like podcast people. Yeah. That's how it happens.
Form of a laptop. Form of a mixer.
Little behind the scenes peek there, pull the curtain back. What can I say?
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Why is there enough like superhero horror movies?
right?
That'd be a great thing. Like I know there's the what's that Superman one?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I have it packed away. I'm gonna look it up right
But was
now.
it like horror?
Oh yeah.
Oh, was it?
It was straight
Okay.
up horror. It was basically if Superman was sent
Evil.
to Earth, but instead of Krypton being good, it was basically giving him subliminal messages of enslave, kill,
Oof.
dominate,
Yeah.
and he's already kind of iffy because he's got the whole powers
Of course.
and all that.
Well, I did a survey on Instagram about The Boys, and I said, would you consider it a horror? And they said, it's more of like a action thriller sort of almost, but like it is very gory. And
It really is.
There's Nazis and, death and rape and sexual assault and like, Oedipus complexes.
Oh, yes.
And, like there's lots of very scary elements to it, I think.
There is.
And I don't think it's like a straight up, this is a horror movie,
Well, it's like
but my
this-
mom can't watch it. And that's about where I...
the kind of the shock, some of the shock
Yes.
values, and they
Yes.
do to, yeah, that works very well for it.
Right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost just like a action movie with gore almost.
Yeah.
But kind of a drama, I guess. I didn't even
Thriller
look
at
it up on...
times.
Yeah.
Just because of the Superman character.
Yes.
Homelander.
Yes, Homelander.
Like he flies around and people they hide when he's flying through.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Yeah, other horror movies that are superheroes, I don't
There's
think
not many.
No.
well, the new X-Men one.
Oh, yes. Yes.
New X-Men, Young X-Men. No,
New Mutants, wasn't it?
thank you. New Mutants. That was set in a horror element,
Yeah.
and that was the plan to go forward until Disney bought Fox and said, you know what, let's just put this on the shelf,
Yeah.
and it's going to collect dust for God knows how long.
Yeah, I read that it wasn't that great, only because they didn't go far enough with it, is all that
Really?
I read.
I think I want to see it. It looks
Yes,
good.
definitely.
I told you earlier, I'm still waiting for Antlers to come out. That's what
Yes.
I'm really waiting for.
Yeah.
But it keeps getting pushed back. Pandemic.
Yes.
Backstreet
Miss
Boys.
Rona can fuck off at this point, honestly.
Stupid Backstreet Boys tour.
I
The reunion
know.
tour is just killing us.
Shout out to Game Grumps again.
Big shout out to Game Grumps.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it's just like, everybody wants things to go back to normal, but it's hard.
It takes time.
Takes time, unfortunately. Ugh. But I hope, this is so horrible. Should I say it? I'm just going to say it. I hope that some good movies come out of this. You know what I mean? Some better pandemic movies.
Yes.
Because what do we have? Like Contagion?
Yeah.
Like, what else do we have?
There already was the COVID Zombies one.
Yes.
Um,
But you
And-
know what? I was playing I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla that I've been playing. And when you're going through your emails, when you, come out of the Animus and you're playing as Layla, your emails talk about how you have to be secluded, like, because of COVID.
oh, really?
I'm 100% serious.
Oh,
I was
jeez.
going through reading it and I'm like, oh my god, it's in games now. No. But can you imagine, like, making a video game about the year 2020 and everybody's wearing masks and stuff?
Well, there is
Isn't that crazy?
There is an it's been out there for at least 6 or 7 years.
Sure.
Called Virus? No. It's basically you create a virus, whether it's viral.
Is that the mobile game one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm really good at that game.
Yes. I forget what it's called now, and it's making me
It's
mad.
Pandemic, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I won't.
And the objective is you're the virus, and you want to spread and kill, and basically
Yes.
world ender.
Yes.
Virus or disease.
Did you ever play the zombie add-on?
No, there's a zombie add-on?
Yeah, where people turn into zombies. Well, I mean, like, you don't actually see it because you just see a map. But, like, yeah, that's one of the things.
I know it actually went to consoles. I know it went to the consoles. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I had sun in my eyes and I had to save me from the sun.
I mean, what can I say?
I'm not going to burn or, thank God, I'm not going to sparkle.
Yeah, it was, it's a really, really good one. I got that game when it first came out, like when I first got my first iPhone.
Yeah. I remember I was playing on
That
my...
was years ago.
It was like for free on PC, and I'm like, oh, this is a good kind of time killer for a half hour to an hour, and I'm like, oh, I didn't succeed. Oh well.
There's actually a really good board game. I think the board game is called Pandemic.
Yes.
Yes, there's a board game that I've played that's so much fun. That's you're basically you play it with a group, and you're either scientist or anyways, everybody has a role, and you all have to coordinate to defeat the virus. It's so much fun, so much fun.
Yay!
Yeah, we should get that and play that for Christmas. That would be super fun. I'll order it on Amazon.
Okay.
Future Alana, remember to order this on Amazon because you'll forget by the time you're done recording.
Yeah.
But we should switch gears back to Supernatural here and talk about The Haunting in Connecticut.
I agree.
Right, so this week we watched The Haunting in Connecticut. It's a 2009 movie directed by Peter Cornwall and written by Adam Simon and Tim Metcalf, but based on a true story. True story in quotations always.
Yeah, there's a little bit of controversy to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this was the original story was followed by Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what I was talking about in the beginning, and they said it was just kind of like not super realish.
Yeah.
But I sent you a little clip about what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah.
And most of it was grounded in facts, even though obviously for movies, and TV, they have to make it more grand than it actually was. Obviously make it more dramatic. Yeah. That's I've been reading online about how everybody's hating on The Crown because, it's not, this didn't really happen and blah, blah, blah. And it's well, yeah, it's because nobody wants to see, a happy marriage between Charles and Diana. They want to see them screaming at each other and fighting and throwing things. You know what I mean?
They want the drama. That's what everyone wants.
Exactly. Yes. So they have to make it way more drama filled than what it was. And that's just, that's what it is a TV show. They're not, it's not a documentary. It's a TV show.
Based on real events, but they spice it up for the ratings.
Yes, loosely base it on real life. So, yeah, good movie though. I'm glad we watched it. Well, it was recommended by one of your coworkers.
Yeah, one of the guys at work. Sorry, I forget your name completely. It was passed along by one of the guys at work saying, oh yeah, he listened to the podcast, but he's pissed off he hasn't reviewed his favorite movie yet. I'm like, what's that? It's I don't know. It's about Haunting in Connecticut. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. So and when viewers give us requests, we squish them in. Here we are.
Lake House LLC gets pushed back again and again and again.
R.I.P. Lake House.
Oh, that's in a permanent spot down the way.
Yes.
So it'll happen.
It's so funny. But is it 40 episodes?
Yep. It's after this one. It's after this one. It's now 39 episodes away.
Yes. Right. Because it's 61. Yeah, this is 61.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I can count math and numbers.
Me too. Yes.
Yay!
1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 3, 61. Yeah, it was good. As I was saying before, possession and haunting ones are always, I love them. Just the supernatural sort of element
Yeah.
is super creepy. And I love that. And I've watched all of those movies about Ed and Lorraine, like whatever the series is, and the Annabelle, and all of those I've watched. Annabelle Creation, I think, was my favorite of all of them. And the second one that they did, whatever it was called.
Origins? Beginning?
No.
Oh,
No.
I forgot.
But we were talking about before about Ed and Lorraine more.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
sorry, yeah.
those were really good. One of my favorite franchises. So yeah, all positives. But this one was very creepy. They're
The Conjuring. The
The
Conjuring movies.
There we go. Thank you.
Fuck
I was like, it's not Insidious. It's not Sinister.
No.
What is it? Yes, The Conjuring.
movies.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Now we jumped over that hurdle. Let's continue on.
Now I can remember. Yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was super creepy. The whole eyelid thing was creepy as fuck. The markings on the body, the illness. So, is it an illness? Is it this treatment? Is it the haunting? Is
Yeah.
it possession? What is it, sort of? It was really good.
It was
yeah.
kind of all of the above.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, the perfect storm, really,
Yep.
to be possessed.
Well, where did you first hear about this movie?
I don't actually remember. I get lots of these haunting possession movies kind of mixed up. So when I saw this came out in 2009, so it was the year I graduated. So when it came out, I remember the what's it called? The poster, I guess, the movie poster.
Yes.
And
With the boy and the ectoplasm coming out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh, that's scary. Not going to see that. But I never honestly knew what it was about or anything. So, yeah, it's just kind of been one of those movies where it's like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. And then never watched it. But how about you? I know that you've seen this before. So.
Yes, I saw in the trailer. I'm like, this looks good.
Yep.
I rented it. It creeped me out. When I first saw it, it gave me the willies. It gave me the creeps. I don't know why. Watching it again, I'm like, okay. I was scared of this. Why?
Yeah, you almost get used to the jump scares and
Yes,
stuff.
I think because of our current, horror movie, yours especially, I now look at a different light.
Yes.
Like nothing really. I don't really get scared much of movies anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a growing up thing. I'm just kind of desensitized.
Right.
Whatever. Some things are hard to watch, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying that gives me nightmares or anything.
Totally.
But yeah, I think it was just kind of the whole possession part and the ectoplasm coming out. It just creeped me out.
Yep.
When I first saw it, I'm like, this is a creepy movie.
Yeah, definitely. And it is creepy for
Oh, yeah.
sure. And there's uncomfortable things, like watching the guy slice off the eyelid. That made me feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Anything near the eye.
Yeah. And it keeps the, there's things around you. You can kind of see the shadows, but you don't fully see it. I'm like, that's
Yes.
good. That's a big check mark in my book.
Yes, for sure.
For having a good horror movie. You gotta build the tension.
Yep.
And this movie does a great job at that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also, you don't know what's going on until the very end.
Yes.
You get the impression that the boy Jonah is the one who's the problem.
Yes,
He's the one that's
exactly.
kind of making the issues when
Right.
it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, lots of dead bodies in this.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see a lot of dead bodies.
A lot of bodies.
Yeah, which is fine.
Oh,
but they're like all carved up, like they have words carved all over, like from head to toe. It's like words and symbols all
it's like
over.
necromancy.
Yes,
It's all
right,
about, this is a
right.
very necromancy favored
Yes.
movie.
It's one of those ones that's very rooted in religion again. I feel like we just watched one that was very religion. Maybe I just watched it on my own.
I think you
watched
saw
one.
it, yeah.
It might have been. Yeah. But I think the last one was Eli. That was very religion based.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, it just adds that little bit of something extra because there's a reverend that he meets at his chemo treatments and stuff. And then he gets involved and oof. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
just-
played by the great actor Elias Koteas.
Mhm.
Yeah, Elias Koteas. I remember his last name. A great Canadian actor. He was Casey Jones in Ninja Turtles. He's always, whatever he's in, he shines.
Yeah.
And he makes it better. He makes anything better with him being in it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a heavy Canadian actor and actress movie, which I love. Being Canadian myself, I'm biased.
Yes.
But no, it's always great to see Canadians in these movies and just excel and make it so much better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Canadian. Yeah, there's lots of Canadian people in this. That's
Well,
awesome.
And it was filmed in, I think, Ontario, like outside
Sure.
Toronto.
Yeah.
And it's support.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of movies are filmed in Canada because we're much cheaper up here
Oh,
than
yes.
to film in the States. So I know Vancouver is a huge hotspot for
Yeah.
filming. And Toronto, obviously, too, because it's just kind of...
I know somewhere in Ontario they're currently filming for the Resident Evil Netflix live action series.
Nice!
And there's pictures of the Raccoon City, the police department, and
Yep.
all that. And from what I've seen, looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the leaked pictures, they're doing it justice. They're doing it faithfully to the game.
I love Resident Evil, so I'm jazzed for that. We were talking about Silent Hill earlier. I haven't
Yes.
seen any of the Silent Hill
Oh,
ones.
they're good.
Are they good?
They're the first one's loosely based on Silent Hill.
Okay.
The second one is a lot more truer to the games.
Yes.
So it's
I wish that they'd remaster those games.
same.
Yeah, because I've watched people on YouTube play some of the older ones, and it just is like, just in 2020 it's hard to get into it as much with like the, geometry people and stuff, kind of like playing the old Tomb Raiders. It's just like, they're good games, it's just like
Well, PT was supposed to be
Yes.
Silent Hill's movie or game.
yes.
But then Konami kind of dropped. That was a bicycle.
Oh,
Konami
that was
dropped-
scarier than the movie we just watched.
Yeah, I know. Kojima was behind it, and then
Yes.
Konami dropped Kojima,
Yes.
and he's like, fine, he took his shit and went and made Death Stranding,
Yes.
and
Which was meh.
yeah, Konami's like, what are we gonna do now? I don't know, let's take Metal Gear and make it into like a survival horror game and butcher it, and they did, and it was bad. But
Yeah.
and it's sad because they got all these great IPs. They got Silent Hill, they got Castlevania, they got all these
Yes.
great ones, and they're just like, nope, we're not gonna touch them.
Scrap that.
Which is too bad because
It is.
like a new version of these games would look phenomenal. Like,
Yes.
They redid Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Yes.
Three
And they were
wasn't-
huge sellers.
They were 3
huge.
was kind of disappointing to some people, but whatever.
But it's so close to the original, and that's just what it was.
Yep. It looked new
Yes, exactly.
and great.
Yeah, I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and he had so much fun, and I loved watching it. Like, it was fun to watch, And that's the thing, is that, like, why I like watching Let's Plays, is that, especially with those games, is they're so nostalgic. And when you watch Let's Players do it, it's like when I used to watch you play it when I was a kid, And it's just so much fun, and, you get scared with them, and it's just like that,
Yes.
like, sense of camaraderie. Yeah, it was good, yeah. God, those are good. Do they have many games about, like, hauntings or possessions and stuff like that?
A few.
A few?
I picked up Fatal Frame 1 the other day.
Oh, I love those games.
So now I own Fatal Frame 1 and 2. You got to find 3 somewhere. A great horror game.
Those are so good.
Where you
Those
walk
are
around-
so creepy.
Yes, you walk around with the camera.
Yeah.
You're some Japanese girl
Yeah.
and going through in a haunted house.
Yeah.
And if the ghost shows up, you got to take a picture. And
Yes.
you got to get the best picture, does the most damage,
Yes.
and it's creepy.
Oh, it scared me so much when I played it when I was, like, in grade 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared me so bad. Oh, I was like, yeah, no, I played it for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, nope, never touching this again. I returned it immediately to like Blockbuster, Rogers, or wherever. I was like, never. But the only one that I've played that I super duper enjoyed was Luigi's Mansion. So yeah.
Nice.
Those games slap though. You can't tell me they don't.
No, those
They're
are great games.
so much fun.
The Ghostbusters remake game, like of the actual characters,
Yeah.
was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I'm meaning to get the remake for PS4. I haven't got around to it yet. I'll
Sure.
get to it eventually.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was just fun. It was very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Right.
Great game.
Yeah, there's not as many games. I guess it's probably hard to do those sort of games, right? With like, not like jump scary ghosts and stuff, but like, actual possession games and whatnot. Like, how would you even do it?
Yeah, you have to have like, I don't know. It'd be very difficult to do and make it actually engaging for the player.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the main thing. You want to have people play it and replay it and have the money spent to...
Exactly.
Instead of, watching cutscene after cutscene of this guy's possessed, and you get to, press X.
Exactly.
To possess, or press square to haunt.
For sure.
Like...
I just think that there's so much potential. Like how they did Friday the 13th, that game. Like, that was so much fun.
Yep.
And the Predator game, like, that worked really well. The Alien game. I just think that there's, like, potential to make cool horror games. That, like, they're kind of sort of doing it with, like, Man from Medan and stuff like that. That whole series that they're doing, they just came out with another one.
I have the first one.
They just came out with a new one.
Yeah, I think I've heard of...
I watched Jacksepticeye play it or Markiplier or something, but I don't remember what it's called. But it was very short. They just did it in a one go. But those games are cool, and they're about ghosts and all that, hauntings and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, should we get into characters?
Back
now that
on,
I'm segued way away.
back on track here. Yes. So characters, we have Virginia Madsen as Sarah Campbell, the mom.
Yay.
And she's been in a few horror movies before as well. She was in Candyman, thank you.
Which we reviewed earlier. You should go listen to it.
Yep, it's been reviewed. Kyle Gallner as Matt Campbell, and he was in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
It was iffy. the great Elias Koteas as Reverend Nicholas Popskew.
Yes.
He does a great job in this.
Yes.
Amanda Crew as Wendy, I think she was
the niece.
Yes.
One of the nieces.
Well, she was the
older niece.
Older niece. And she's Canadian too.
Yes.
Martin Donovan as Peter Campbell. Mm-hmm. He was the younger brother. Nope, sorry, he was the dad.
He's a dad.
He was the dad.
Yeah.
My bad. Ty Wood as Billy Campbell, another Canadian actor. Great little guy.
Yeah, Billy was the son.
Yes.
Yes.
Sophie Knight as Mary.
She was the younger niece.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
She was great. She did a great job, too. D.W. Brown as Dr. Brooks. Mm-hmm. And Eric Berg as Jonah.
Yes, Jonah. Yes. He did such a good job.
He did.
Yeah, fantastic. Ugh, and so creepy.
Yeah.
I love those characters who can play, like, the red herrings or those sort of things, because it takes such acting ability, I think, to like completely mislead an audience and then pull it back and be like, surprise!
Yep.
Fooled you!
When I first saw this, after I wanted to look into it more, because I'm like, what's with this ectoplasm out of mouse and body? So I look into it, and there's pictures of it online. Some is fake, some is inconclusive.
Well,
creepy. It's just creepy looking.
I've never looked it up before. Maybe I'll do that after.
And people who are listening, take a moment, go to Google up ectoplasm and out of people's mouths and stuff like that. There's a band called Out of Your Mouth, great band. But a little plug for them. No, it's creepy. Like some of the pictures are weird and just very disturbing.
Ugh. I'm gonna look it up afterwards.
And there is, I guess, there is some way to scientifically explain it away. It's something
there always is,
But so the pictures are just creepy looking, and they're old pics.
Still.
So.
Yeah, just because it's not real doesn't mean it's not creepy, that kind of stuff. Or can't be explained away. Like the spontaneous combusting thing. They're like, perfectly logical explanation. I'm like, okay, but when I see like 2 feet on the floor and like the body burned up, that's still creepy.
Yeah.
I don't care.
There's what I remember is of a picture of a woman. There's what's left of her, just feet.
Yes.
In shoes.
Yes.
And she was in the chair. And just poof. And
just like that.
I don't think they've really scientifically explained that yet.
They sort of have. I had to do a report on it when I was like in grade 10 or something. I don't remember the exact reason off the top of my head because it's been like 15 years. But yeah, it's there is a reason, but it's kind of
had
very...
to do with like your body fat and
It's very flaky.
Something like it was, yeah,
Yes.
whatever.
But
Well, let's get into the movie.
let's do it.
Okay, so in 1987, Sarah Campbell, Virginia Madison, is driving her son Matt, Kyle Gallner, home from the hospital where he has been undergoing cancer treatments.
Yes.
Sarah and her husband Peter, a recovering alcoholic, discuss finding a rental house closer to the hospital. And we find it's like an 8-hour drive back and forth
Yes, exactly.
because he'd stop and be sick a lot.
Yeah, he has to, just because of the treatment, there's a lot of puking and stuff that goes
Well,
on
this
with
is like-
chemo.
This is like the old 80s. This is when they basically wasn't a little drip. It was, you're in this room and they just blast radiation at you.
Yes, exactly.
And you can tell, he's got the radiation burns on his chest. And he's showing
Yes.
it's rough.
Ugh.
It's rough. On another hospital visit, Sarah finds a man putting up a for rent sign in front of a large house. The man is frustrated and offers her the first month free if she will rent it immediately. She says yes.
Mm-hmm.
The following day, Peter arrives with Matt's brother Billy and cousins Wendy and Mary, and they
Yes.
choose rooms. Matt chooses the basement where there is a mysterious door. After moving in, Matt suffers a series of visions involving an old bearded man and corpses with symbols carved into their skin.
Yes.
It's a great scene. He's
It
showing
is.
him, he's got Jordan on the side watching him do it.
Yeah.
And he's just carving these runes, these symbols.
Yes.
And then he cuts their eyelids off.
And it's it's very graphically gross, and it's like you kind of don't expect it almost.
No.
But it is it's horrible. It's really hard to watch.
And because it's so hard because you think it's real and it looks real, it's a great effect.
Yes.
Like the props department, kudos on making this look as real as it did.
Yes.
Because it did.
Yeah,
100%
exactly.
it looked real. Like,
Ugh, yeah,
oof.
it was hard. It was really, really hard to watch and be party to.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The next day, Peter learns that the house was supposedly a funeral home. The room behind the mysterious door is a mortuary.
Mm-hmm.
Matt
They still have all the stuff in it and everything, all
yeah.
the tools and the formaldehyde and
Yep.
bleh,
Yep.
tables and chairs and
everything was
Yeah.
left as is. Matt tells another patient, Reverend Nicholas Popsecue, about the visions. Nicholas advises him to find out what the spirit wants.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Matt finds a burned figure in his room who begins to move towards him. When the family comes home, they find a shirtless Matt with his fingers blood-covered from scratching at the wall. And this is cool because this is when it starts, you always see the shadows or
Yes.
it's always behind him or in the dark.
Yeah,
Great.
and they do the thing, and this is I guess it was the 20 knots, they say, because it was a 2009 movie. They do the thing where, when there's a jump scare, they, blare music.
Yes.
And just in this day and age, or for me anyways, it just takes away from it a bit. Like when Wendy's walking through the house with Mary and they're picking out the rooms or whatever, and she goes to close the door, there's just a flash of a man just standing there.
Yeah, in the mirror, yeah.
And the music blares what?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, I saw it, but thanks
Yeah.
for...
And this really takes me back to Aliens.
Yes.
Where when there's a big, impactful, something's kind of spooky coming up, there's like an orchestra.
Right.
Or something, just like the violin, or I'm trying to think what the actual instrument was. But yeah, I think it's like a violin, just kind
Yeah.
of like the screeching
Yes.
of the violin to to really bring the scene out more.
Right. Yes.
And I see why they do it. I really do.
Yes.
Because it works.
For
It totally,
sure.
It totally works. But yeah, I see where you're kind of tired of it. It's been done so much. Again, especially in the 2000s when that's all they did
That's
for
it.
the scenes to scare you.
Yes. And I can appreciate it a couple times, but when it's every
Yeah.
scene...
That's why with The Grudge it worked because there was no loud screeching go with it. It was just there.
Yes.
Maybe there was a different kind of tone to it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't screechiness. It was more the gutturally
Yes.
gurgle that she gave. That was what
Yes.
they used, and that worked.
And I watched a movie yesterday that we were talking about. It's called Megan is Missing. And it's a found footage movie. And I think that that's why I like found footage so much, is that one of the girls is just videotaping herself. And then all of a sudden you see the shadow of a man come behind her when she's in the park and just stand there and watch her the whole time. And it is so unnerving because you're like, is he going to do something? Yeah. Is this, a bad guy? Is he watching her? Is he just standing there? Like, it's so unnerving. And I'm also, you said found footage, or, I'm also going to throw in there Paranormal Activities. Definitely. Because they don't have the music to go with the scares. They just have something happening. It's been a while since I've seen them, so I could be mistaken. Yes, right. But, like, some of the more, like, when I first saw the first one, when he puts the flower on the floor and they look after, and there's the footprints that are not human. There is no sound to go with it. There was just, oh my God, what is this? Exactly. And me, I'm like, watching, I got my hair stood up. Yep. I got goosebumps. I'm like, what is that? Yes. That scared me. Oh my God, what the fuck? It's been once I've seen the sequels, but I know they kind of kept the, no music really to go with it for those kind of scares. They just kind of, by doing that, it kind of, people who were expecting that, it didn't come. Right. And the scare just kind of came on its own. Yes. And it was very organic, as opposed to in your face. Right. So. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, there's just two different ways of doing things, I guess. And it's just, everybody obviously has preferences. And this worked in 2009. Like, it was very creepy. It's still creepy today, Yep. But... The family begins to crack under the stress of Matt's illness and bizarre behavior. The children find a box of photographs, which show Jonah, a young man from Matt's visions, in a seance, emitting ectoplasm from his mouth. And this is cool. They play hide and seek. Yes. And the one boy, I think Billy. Yep. He hides in this little dumbwaiter. Yeah. And the sister, she hides upstairs in the attic. And the boy in the dumbwaiter, there's the ghost or something behind him. He freaks out. He gets out. They find out the girl upstairs, her foot went through the floor. And they go up and they help her out, and they find something in the floor underneath. And there they find the pictures, the eyelids. The box of eyelids. Yeah, creepy. Which they don't know what it is. But, they look at it, because it's just little pieces of dried, who knows, with little hairs attached to it. Yep. And they don't know until Matt's touching the box and has a flashback, and he's like... Oh. Yep. I know what that is. And so Wendy does some research at this thing called a library, which is a good joke in this movie. It's so funny. It's a good joke. Yes. Yeah, she's being all serious. Matt, there's a place out there that we can find information with this. Really, what? It's called a library. Yeah. It's down in a dark basement, all this stuff, and it's like, really, what's it called? The library. So funny. So Wendy does research, and Wendy and Matt find out that the funeral home was run by a man named Ramsey Aikman. Yes. Aikman also conducted psychic research, and would host seances with Jonah as the medium. Yes. At one seance, all those attending, including Aikman, were found dead, and Jonah disappeared. Yes. Yep. Nicholas theorizes that Aikman was practicing necromancy, in an attempt to control the dead and bind them to the house. Right. That night, Nicholas finds human remains in the house and removes them. Matt awakens to find Aikman's symbols carved into his skin. Yes. He is taken to the hospital, where he encounters Jonah. Nicholas and Matt begin to have simultaneous visions. Everyone in the seance is burnt after a flash of bright light. Mm-hmm. The barely alive Aikman told Jonah to get out of the house, concerned that the demonic presence will get him next. Jonah uses the dumbwaiter to escape, calling for help, entering an unknown chamber. Jonah realizes that he has entered the crematory. Mm-hmm. The spirit traps Jonah in the crematory and cremates him alive. So that's how Jonah dies. Mm-hmm. And also, just, again, taking this scene apart, it's very strong how Nicholas, he's using these pieces of, was it iron? Yes. To kind of, what's the word? People use it to find water. Yes. Oh, what's it called? There's a certain term for it.
And
Oh,
I'm
I
pulling a
can't.
blank.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing. Kind of falls
Right.
until he finds it's in the basement where, of course, Matt's sleeping.
Yes.
In the, it's by the
Mm-hmm.
by the crematory.
Yes.
And so he goes in, and while this is happening, the whole house is shaking, and there's lights going on and off.
Yes.
And they're kind of coming closer to Matt and his mom
Right.
until Nicholas finds a bit of the skull and grabs a bunch of the ashes of Jonah, gets outside, sees outside, it stops.
Mm-hmm.
And everything thinks it's all good. And Nicholas tells the mom that, just so you know, this is better, it's all good, but there might be some aftershocks. Don't be alarmed, that's just how things work.
Right.
And he goes to drive to probably bury the remains
Yes.
and, put him to peace.
Right. Because they think that, Jonah's the problem.
And as he's driving back, he sees Jonah in his back seat, and he kind of almost crashes, and him and Matt at the same time get the whole vision of what's going on. And Nicholas realizes that this is, oops,
Yes.
oopsie. Jonah was there trying to control all the spirits in the house and trying to get them free, but he couldn't. And,
Right.
and then the house all the rage of the house is free.
Yes. To do whatever.
And it does.
Yes.
It almost kills Wendy in the shower.
Yeah.
It chases the kids. It scares them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it just starts tormenting everybody in the house now.
Yes.
And with Jonah not there to kind of rein in the spirits, it's just horrible.
Yeah, and they can't take it all out on Matt with all the symbols being carved on his body.
Exactly. Yes. So he's like kind of like one of them now or whatever.
He's just kind of got because the way Nicholas explains is that both him and Nick have cancer. They're on instead of being fully alive, they're on kind of death's door.
Yes, they're on the cusp. Yes.
So they're more but they're between
the veil's thinner for them, sort of. Yeah.
And they're more susceptible to interacting with both sides of the wall of life and death. So.
Ugh.
So Peter and Sarah learn that Matt's cancer treatments have had no effect. Also, they mentioned how he's kind of explained how he sees things. They're like, this could be a side effect. Don't tell anyone that, or else they'll stop treatment.
Yes, yeah, because he's on a new experimental treatment or something. Yeah.
They then discover that Matt has escaped the hospital. Back at the house, Nicholas leaves a message telling the family to get out of the house immediately.
Yes.
Jonah's spirit was actually protecting them from the spirits. Matt breaks through the walls in the front room with an axe, revealing the dusty corpses Aikman hid in the walls.
Oh, and there's so many bodies.
And there was a bit of a foreshadowing there when Matt's coming back from treatment, and he's, very weak and sick.
Yes.
And his mom goes to get something from the car, and he puts his hand against a pillar, and it pushes into it. And he pulls out just blood, gore, just gross.
Yes, for sure.
And he kind of snaps out of it, and he's like, nope, it's the wall. It's the pillar, but that was a hard, strong foreshadowing of what's going on.
Definitely.
He forces Wendy and the children to get out, breaking himself inside and tearing down the other walls as corpses begin to tumble into the room. The view switches from Matt to Jonah, who seems to be occupying Matt's body. Matt lights the bodies in the room on fire. Later on, investigators... Later on... Stupid Wikipedia. Later on, investigators arrive at the house to only find it engulfed in flames.
Yes.
He tells Wendy, no matter what, don't let the house burn. Don't let him stop it.
Because we've seen in many, many movies, fire cleanses.
The Grudge.
Yes.
Where they stop it.
Exactly.
And the Grudge doesn't die. And it's you kind of can see how through the movie Matt's his attitude changes. He's a little more grumpy. I think that's when Jonah was possessing him.
Definitely. Yeah.
Trying to, I don't know.
Yes.
He was frustrated.
Yeah, I agree.
As the fire department arrives, Sarah and Peter frantically try to get in to save Matt. Sarah does.
Yes.
The spirits, finally freed, disappear. Outside, everyone watches tearfully as the emergency crew attempts to resuscitate a dying Matt. As Matt slips away, he has a vision of himself standing in the graveyard where he sees Jonah, no longer appearing burnt.
Yes.
He seems about to follow Jonah when he hears his mother's voice.
Yes.
He returns to his body and Jonah's spirit leaves him. Matt's cancer
Yay.
disappears, and the house was rebuilt and resold with no further reported incidents of haunting.
Woo!
The end.
The end. Hooray! Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Very creepy.
It was the whole ectoplasm thing was
Yes.
very new. It wasn't shown in movies besides Ghostbusters at
Right.
the time.
Yes.
And they kind of took, the pictures that we've seen that are on the internet.
Right.
And it was a great effect.
Yes. It was such a good effect. And like even now, like 11 years later, it still stands up really well.
Yeah. And when they're doing that last seance and
Yeah.
it kind of pulses with energy and explodes out in fire, that's cool.
Super cool.
Everyone,
super cool.
everyone is basically, well, Jonah's fine. Aikman, he's burnt badly, but he's not totally dead yet.
Yes.
But the other ones, they were just basically instant,
Yes.
just corpses.
Well, because
bone
I
and
think it
ash.
might have been because they were all holding hands, right?
Yes. I think just also
Like
that was,
they're crispy.
and they were the ones who were wanting the. They're trying to get there. I think it's like a child to talk
yes.
to them,
Right.
and I think they were like the target
Yes.
of it because they were the ones who wanted it to happen. They were the focal
Exactly.
point.
Right.
And hence the energy of the
You're
spirits
right.
just focused all on,
On them.
Yeah.
Yes. Ugh. Blah.
Yeah.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Good. Woo.
Good movie.
So what would you rate it?
I give it a 3,
Yeah.
2.5 to 3.
I'm
It was-
exactly the same.
It was a good movie. I had some good scenes. It had some great effects.
Yep.
The eyelid cutting part was shivery, a
Ugh.
little cringy.
Yep.
Having the house be like a mortuary was great.
Yep.
The actors did a good job.
Really good.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
It could have done a little more with the scariness,
Yes, I agree.
but I'm not sure what else you could really do besides they had the good effects. They had the burnt bodies. They had the carved in, spirits who were always around the house.
For sure.
There were a few lead scenes that didn't really help or add much. So
No. Because we watched the unrated version.
yes,
And, like it was fine, but whenever I watch the unrated version, I always want to be like super scared or super
Yeah.
creeped out, anything like that,
Yeah.
And-
One good lead scene was Matt and Billy were throwing the ball back and forth, and
Sure.
Billy throws a bad throw to him. Matt goes to grab it in front of the window, and I think it was Jonah, burned
Sure.
Jonah, looking at him.
Oh.
He freaks out and grabs Billy. He's trying to force his little brother to look, do you see it? You have to see it, look. They could have kept that one in.
Right.
Because that
For
could have
sure.
also shown Matt is slowly kind of breaking down and
Yes.
going a little crazy with the whole
Ugh.
thing, but I don't know what they could really do to add to make it scarier. Maybe more of a creepier backstory.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Aikman being less of a, I don't know, make him more of a villain.
Right. Yeah, and more
'Cause-
gore and make Matt more sinister. Like
Yeah.
when he, starts to go crazy, like just,
Yeah.
have him, just be a bit more
And
manic.
if you haven't seen this, we're wondering, where to get all the bodies from. They show how basically he would go to the like he was being the mortuary.
Yep.
He would take the bodies himself and he would load the coffins in with sand
Yes.
and then put them in the grave and think they're
Yeah.
the dead bodies. And
Exactly.
he'd use the bodies to enhance the Jonah's ability of being a medium.
Yes.
And Wendy, when she was doing research, she was going through all these old newspaper slides.
Yeah.
She finds out when they built the interstate through the cemetery,
Ugh.
they had to move the bodies. They found that some of them were empty and full of bags of sand. They're like, what the heck? Who is doing this? And they never, I think this is after the incident where they all died.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it all kind of, this movie does a great job of putting everything together.
Yes.
There's
exactly.
no threads or no plots hanging,
Yep.
no plot holes. Begin to end, it's a good, solid story.
Yes. And they have enough red herrings in there where you kind of keep guessing till the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 too. I think, yeah, for exactly the same reasons. I just think that they could have made it a bit more spooky. And it was a little slow in the beginning, but I know that they have to establish everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think the dad really added anything. And, making him a drunk, which, maybe just makes more of a rift in the family. But, that never went anywhere.
No,
And
it
it's
didn't
just-
help anything.
No, you know what I mean? It's
Um,
just something that didn't really need to be added. But, Yeah, it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed it. Like I would watch it again. It was enjoyable.
I think one of the better scenes is when they're trying to find the body of Jonah and get him out.
Right.
The whole body is just basically, or the whole house is basically supercharged with paranormal activity.
Right.
Where like there's like the scene earlier, the dad came in and he was drunk.
Yeah.
And wow, the light's on. I'm paying for the electricity too. I'm paying more, and he smashes all the light bulbs.
Yes.
And during the scene, like the house is just so kinetically charged that where the light bulbs were, it just sparks.
Yes.
And electricity shooting out.
Yes.
And that's I think that's one of the better scenes of this movie. It
I
shows
agree.
how much energy the house has.
Yes.
And it was full.
Ugh. Blah. Jeez.
Yeah.
And kill the flick.
There's only kind of the one kill is just the seance.
Yes. Yeah.
So
the
yeah,
seance,
I say that gets to kill the flicks. It's only really major one.
Right. Just the bodies being burnt,
Yeah.
crispy with ectoplasm, and Jonah getting incinerated.
Yeah, he does after he does.
Yeah.
Alive too.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, doesn't show hardly anything except
No.
him in there, and then he screams, and then it cuts away.
Yeah, we were kind of thinking about this, and we're gonna go with the eyelids being cut is the
Blech.
most cringy scene in the movie, or the scariest scene, which is it's so graphic, and even graphic is the wrong word because it looks real.
Yes, it's just
There's no blood, there's no
really-
gore.
Anything with like eyes or like fingernails,
Ooh.
that always bugs me, right?
Yeah, because I can feel that.
Yes.
Right now, fingers are twitching because I can see it. And
Feel it.
Yes.
I know.
I'm sure everyone has bent a nail or something, and it's just, ouch.
I was watching a TV show the other day, and the guy like very like graphically cut off a woman's toes like with garden shears, and I was just like,
Ooh.
huh, bleh.
Whoa.
This is a yuck. This is a big time yuck, but
Blah.
blah. But yeah, so that was The Haunting in Connecticut.
It was a good movie. It was a
Fun.
good horror ghost movie.
Yes, and yeah, it was a good time, definitely. I'd watch it again.
There you go. It's
And
good.
next week we are watching another viewer request. We are watching The Strangers.
Ooh.
Yay.
Haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't
I've
either.
seen clips. I've seen trailers. I own it. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, we got to change that by next week.
Yes. Also, I forgot to mention there's also a sequel to Haunting in Connecticut. They made a
Oh.
second one. It has no connection, I think, to the first one,
Oh.
but there is a sequel out there.
Cool.
Just so people know, if you want to watch part or another one, there's another one out there. It was not as good, but
Right.
whatever.
That usually happens with
Yeah.
sequels.
But yeah, Strangers, yes, Strangers.
Yay, Strangers!
Strangers is the next one. Is the next.
They have a second one as well. I think it's called The Strangers Pray at Night, which I've
Yes.
seen. I've seen that one.
Oh, really?
Yes, it takes place in a trailer park. It is very creepy.
Oh, good.
Yes. But we shall watch the first one and see how that goes.
Awesome.
Yay! And thank you so much for joining us. This episode was brought to you by our executive producer, Ichabod. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, Twitter at Gasm Horror, and YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience. Bye!
See ya.